Yo, what's up, everybody? Y'all are tuning into the first weekend wrap up of the Juicebox Heroes podcast. I'm one of your hosts, PK. As always, we have the Dubon Fan Club president, Mr. Chris Moreno, and Sweet Bee Bones, Mr. Bryles. Fellas, how was your day off from watching Astros baseball on a Sunday?
I wouldn't call it a day off. Still had batting practice today. Was able to watch some of the Space Cowboys game today. Wanted to see how Lance McCullers did. But yeah, I mean, for it being a day off, it wasn't really a day off. It felt weird not seeing the Astros play today. So, but yeah, man, that's pretty much all I had. Bros, how was your non-Astros day today? Are we having technical difficulties with Bros?
So look, my day was full of volleyball, as always.
Yes.
Getting ready. Yes. Volleyball lesson, volleyball practice, getting ready for an out-of-town tournament this weekend coming up. So very weird to not have the Astros play on a Sunday. Pretty sure this is probably the only Sunday of the season that they will not play. Don't quote me on that, but it's definitely very strange for them not to play on Sunday. Browse, can you hear us?
I don't know. He looks frozen into the night.
He got the side eye. Look, let's get right into this thing, and we'll message Bryles here and see if let me take a picture of that of what his screen looks like. We'll get Bryles back in here in a minute. Yeah, opening day, man. We went live a few times on on Thursday.
There he is.
Hey, he's back. He's unfrozen. Can you hear us, Bryles?
Through a couple
of no.
problems. Yeah, gotcha.
All right. So opening day was Thursday. Astros, Astros got the dub. We talked about that a lot. Frommer looked fantastic, on Thursday. 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs, struck out 4, walked 2. Again, we talked about it a lot Thursday. That is what that's what you're looking for from your ace, right? This guy's in a contract year. You expect this guy to go out there and dominate like he did against the Mets lineup. That's really freaking good. Then we moved into Friday's game, the Apple game. Yeah, I know it's dumb. I watched it on Gamecast on my phone. So
did I.
All of a sudden I have one batter up, and then like 3 batters came up like instantly. Quick pitch. It was what it looked like on Gamecast, but the Astros lose. I think that one of the biggest things that we're going to talk about that we dealt with really the whole series is the old runners in scoring position, the average.
Oh yeah.
So Hunter Brown. Chris, why don't you take us through Hunter Brown's outing on Friday night?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I also looked through. I also was watching it via game. Was it gameplay or whatever? I was actually at Space Cowboys opening day on Friday. So I mean, I do know that from what I could tell, like the dude was throwing almost 100.
No, he was bringing it.
I mean, again, the big thing that kind of, I mean, if we're ready to break down the series, I don't know if we're going to try to do a game by game. I mean, but there wasn't a lot to really break down. I know Hunter Brown looked good. The fastball velocity was 99, 98, 99. So like that, as far as arm strength and stuff like that, I mean, he looked fantastic. Everybody, the offense is just and I don't want to be that guy that loses his mind over 3 games. I mean, but like these numbers are still pretty staggering. So, you score one run, that's it. There's nothing. Hunter Brown pitched well. The offense was not there. That wraps up Saturday night's game or Friday night's game. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's literally it. Browse, you got anything on it? Can you hear us, buddy?
Yeah, no, I've got you. Sorry, guys. I had some technical difficulties in there, but I think we've worked through it. So anyway, yeah, no, I was at that game on Friday. And Hunter Brown did look pretty good, although he did have quite a bit of traffic on the bases. So, but he was able to work through it. I mean, it was kind of almost like the same thing that Fromber was doing. It's like Fromber had different struggles, and I don't necessarily think that Hunter was struggling as much. He had a little bit of control issues from what I could tell, which, like I said, led to some traffic on the bases. He was getting amped up, and he'd get into like a 2-2 count and then groove one right down the middle, like middle. And then, of course, it would get, rocked. But to just kind of bounce off of what Chris was saying there, the offense looked lackluster. How about that? Let's just say that, that's not the Astros offense that we're used to seeing. I can tell you right now that we have hit how many home runs in total? Anybody know?
Or is it the Astros offense that we were used to seeing? That's the question.
Well, touche.
And to answer the question, it's one home run.
So
yeah,
I had to do a lot of research because there were so many home runs that were hitting over the opening 3 games. I think it was Jeremy Pena, and he is leading the team with one.
One. And that was my point, is that we do not win games, at least last season, without a home run. I think we had 2 home games that we won with 0 home runs in 2024. I did see that stat. So that's where I'm like, it was great to come away winning the series, but at the same time, it was a little rough in there sometimes, especially offensively, just like we were saying. And it's nothing to get, all up in arms about right now, but it's something that they do need to be concerned about. And hopefully these bats warm up just as we're, getting through the first part of the season. I mean, we've been through 3 games. That's it. So guys, go to batting practice. That's all we need to say.
So I think, like, I forget the number for the runners in scoring position, but
I have the number. Just give me a minute.
Is it like 2 for 21 or something?
No,
it was really
no. If you want the number right now, the Astros are hitting 059. They're batting 059 with runners in scoring position. They're 1 for 17 in the first 3 games.
That was kind of close.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you gave them.
I was giving too much credit.
Give them an extra hit. I refuse it. Not on my watch.
Yeah.
I mean, they're hitting 176 as a team. So.
I mean, it's you look at it and we're 2-1. It's obviously better than the 0-4 start we had last year. However, you still kind of see some of the same problems, and his runners in scoring position is a massive problem. Now, granted, it's 3 games in. There's only 159 more to go. We got a minute, so you don't want to complete. Is that good math?
Yeah, it's good math. Your math is good.
Sweet. You don't want to freak out too much, but it's just something to keep your eye on, right? I mean, because how many runs is left out there when you can't produce any kind of hits? You have the starting pitching rotation has been pretty freaking lights out. And we talked about it last year where, these guys have to go out there and throw a freaking gem, every outing because the offense wasn't holding their end of the bargain up. And so again, it's 3 games in. You don't want to freak out too much. It's definitely something to keep our eyes on. But we just got to hit the ball, man. We got to hit the ball. I mean, as a team, obviously, but then especially when we got potential runs sitting out there. I mean, look, Christian Walker's ripping the cover off the ball right to people.
Yeah,
I mean, he is. Spots. He's this. I mean, his exit velos, and I'm not stat nerd at all. And the only reason I know about it is because I scroll on Twitter and see it. But I mean, he's crushing the ball. He's hitting it right to people. So I mean, that obviously that's not going to last the whole season. He's going to, the main thing for him, like we talked about before, is his oblique, right? Making sure that thing stays good so that we don't have any time without him. Did y'all notice the lineup that went out on Saturday? It's kind of odd lineup.
Yes, it kind of reminded me of the old school Astros Sunday lineups where it's like,
yes,
yep,
it was basically your getaway day. Yeah, you had DeZenzo playing one position. He played a position. Dubon played second. Chaz got a
Chaz,
start.
yeah, Chaz played in center.
I mean, but
Yeah,
I mean, it was
to the
just
right.
kind of like, I mean, at first it was like when you looked at it, you're like, well, good, maybe this influx of decent, different bats will, kind of, get the mojo going with the offense. And spoiler alert, it didn't. So, but I mean, going back to what you just said about the pitch, I was glad you brought that up because, like I said, it reminded me of last season when we were doing this, and you were saying about how the lack of offense is putting so much pressure on the pitching to like where they feel like if they give up 2 runs, we're going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was glad that you brought back up because I had that in my notes saying like, yeah, I'm going to flash back to PK, what you talked about last season.
Still your thunder.
But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, like it is 3 games. There's 159 games left. You don't want to be that guy that, the season's over. I mean, hell, we held on till June and then they turned it around and here we are winning the division.
Yep.
But I will say, like I said, that number kind of, when you look at that number of runners scoring position, and it could just be, the Mets, those 3 pitchers that the Mets threw. Now, granted, we didn't see Kodai Sengai or whatever his name is. We didn't see him. I mean, but like, those pitchers, they pitched well too. I mean, but like, I felt like, I feel like guys like Jordan, like there was a couple of at bats where I look at it and, I'm not saying I'm a professional hitting coach or anything, but it looked like he was trying to do too much instead of just go with your 2-strike approach. If it's close, take a hack at it. If it's clearly out, I mean, because there were some of these strikeouts that I saw where it's like, God, what are you swinging at?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't get it. I mean, like, what are you swinging at? But, I mean, at the end of the day, like, it's kind of like a catch-22 because it's just like, man, our pitching was so good that we won only scoring 6 runs. But then you look at the meat to the bone of what the offensive numbers were those 3 games. You're like, damn, how the hell did we win 2 games?
Yeah,
or how do we win that series only scoring 6 runs? So it's kind of like it's kind of a, what is it, Dr. Jekyll and Hyde or whatever it is. So yeah, I mean, like it's definitely like one of those things that you look at and you look at that lineup, what that lineup has the potential to be, and scoring 6 runs in 3 games was not on my bingo card. I don't know about you, Browse, but definitely wasn't on mine.
No, it wasn't on mine either. And you kind of nailed it on that one, saying that, listen, we're microphone jockeys. We're not necessarily hired by the Astros to start breaking down swings and stuff like that. I will say, though, after rewatching the game on Friday and seeing both games, obviously on Thursday and Saturday on TV, it looks like, I don't know what Jordan's doing. He's changed something to his swing that I can't figure out. There's a hole in it that I can't figure out, but he doesn't look comfortable at the plate. I think that's the biggest part of it. So I'm sure he's going to get that straightened out. So we'll get that part figured out. But yeah, as far as the offense as a whole and the lineup, which is what you led with, PK, it reminded me of Dusty Sunday lineup when the lineup comes out and you're looking at it and you're pulling up your fantasy team and you're like, what, what? Yeah. Are we trying to win today? Or, what is this? So I always got really frustrated with that. Somehow, I don't know, Dusty put his magic in it and we would win, I don't know, at least half of those games when it was non-starters. He was basically using the entire bench. But yeah, that is definitely what it reminded me of. So anyway, we'll see how Espada ends up doing moving forward. If last year was kind of him trying to feel out how to be that manager that's leading the entire team, different situations. What is he going to do? And he made mistakes and he made some really good choices at the same time. So I think moving forward, he's going to have his style of what he wants to do. And of course, with him being under Dusty and a couple of other managers as well, we'll see kind of what that Sunday type of lineup is, or the last game of the series, the getaway day. Yeah, when they're playing Wednesday in, West Sacramento at 1:00 in the afternoon because they've got to end up flying to, Seattle or
Philly.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, or God forbid, have to go halfway across the country, right? So anyway, I think that part's going to kind of straighten itself out. But in the other thing, yeah, it's offense. We're going to get it together. I think that a lot of these guys were trying stuff in spring training that they weren't used to doing, and now that we're getting into live games, maybe they're still kind of got a hybrid of their old habits, some new things they were trying, and they just don't have it quite all together yet.
Yeah, like I said, it's very early, and I sure as hell don't want to be negative Nancy, 3 games in.
No.
But it's just definitely something that we, got to pay attention to as far as, the next series. Y'all want to talk about the bullpen for a minute? Our setup and our closer?
Yeah, we can talk about the bullpen. Yeah.
All right.
I was looking at the numbers for the bullpen. I don't know if you have those numbers.
No, go ahead.
But they're really good. I mean, outside of Hader's little hiccup on opening day, I mean, if you want to start being, we have the number Blake pitching's staff in the MLB. If you're that guy already, I mean, then we have the second best pitching staff ERA in the majors right now as a 1.13 ERA. But the bullpen, like I said, the bullpens look good. I mean, outside of Brian Abreu and Hader, and even when they came back on Saturday, right? Yeah, they looked a lot better than what they look like on opening day. But outside of that, man, I have no complaints on the pitching side. And again, like I said, to agree with you, I don't want to be like the sky is falling on Game 3 of 162. I have no complaints on the pitching staff.
I could go for a little less traffic.
Yeah. They definitely make it interesting. I'll give you that.
You also got to keep in mind, too, though, that, I mean, we got to open this entire season up against the Mets. Now, fortunately, we were at home, but the Mets have almost, we're talking payroll-wise, almost double what we've got. And on top of that, they just signed Soto to that giant contract, and they wanted to win all 3 of those games so bad, it wasn't even funny. So the fact that our pitching staff, starters and the bullpen both got through all of that, and we went 2-1, and we could have easily been 3-0. I mean, I got to give mad props to the starting pitching and the bullpen. And I know that they're going to get, at some point in the season, they're going to get a little tired, but it looks like we're going to have some guys coming off the IL to help out. We're going to have a whole lot of room, and I'm excited about our pitching this year. I really, really am.
You know what? That's a really good segue there, Bryles. Almost like we actually freaking tried to do that on purpose. So let's segue into Mr. LMJ had his start today.
Speaking of Mr. Guy who could be coming off the IL, today Lance McCullers Jr. made his rehab start in Sugarland for the Space Cowboys, where he struck out the side the first inning. I tried to watch that game before we left for BP today, but
hit 95, didn't he?
You know how that goes.
I think he hit 95.
Yeah, hit 95 a couple times. Like I said, so he gave up 2 runs in 2 innings, 3 strikeouts. But he didn't look terrible. I mean, like I said, like a lot of these times, these rehab starts, sometimes you get kind of caught up on. Well, he gave up 2 runs. His ERA is 9. It's like, who cares? As long as the main goal of a rehab start is you go into it healthy and you leave, and when you leave it, you feel good. You don't want any discomfort or anything like that. And I'll take Lance McCullers striking out the side in the first inning all day, every day. So I'm glad. Again, I know we've said this many times. I know we like to give him crap, much like everybody in the city of Houston gives him crap for being hurt all the time. But it's good to see him on the way back. It looks like we'll need him eventually when he gets back ready to rock and roll. So there you go. I'm happy for you, Lance McCullers. And hopefully maybe add a couple more rehab stints, and you'll be with the Astros hopefully fairly soon.
Yeah, no, I just saw, his outing on on X, today. So, yeah, same thing with you, Chris. We give him a lot of crap for being a barista and being injured all the time, but really happy for the guy, to get his, his rehab stint in, seemingly leave healthy, have a good line while he was there. So I'm excited to see his next outing and see how that goes, see if he can back that up. I'm sure we'll get some reports, the next day or two, about how he's feeling. I'm sure we'll have an interview out that we'll hear about it. So as soon as we do, we'll discuss it. And I'm really happy to see LMJ on the bump again, pitching. And since we're talking about the Space Cowboys, Chris was there for opening day on Friday. He got to see Bryce Matthews walk it off. Comeback it was like they were down, were they not? Space Cowboys were down in the last inning.
Yeah, so dude, they Space Cowboys got off to a pretty good start, and then the Comets, which is the Dodgers AAA team, brought in this kid named Jarvis. His last name was Jarvis, and he looked like a man against boys. Like they could not catch up to his fastball. He had him shut down. I don't want to get too into like prospects and stuff like that, but the Space Cowboys were down 3-0 going into the ninth, I think, with like 2 hits, and then they rallied and came back and won that game. But the biggest takeaway, in my opinion, and I posted it all over X, was the fact that Bryce Matthews came up to Paul Wall swinging in the rain. So,
oh yeah, that's so cool.
Nice.
That was definitely
he knows what's up, man.
That was definitely awesome. Yeah. So it looks like we have a question. PK, you want to take care of this question? I'll go ahead and pop it back up. I don't know who this guy is.
How do you feel about it? Yeah, there you go. You have it up. I think with opening day, we talked about on opening day where, that first fly ball out to him, there was nothing that Jake Myers was going to do that Altuve wasn't going to, undercut him just like he did. Right. That was Altuve's ball the whole way. I think he had another line out to him, I think in the second inning. So there's 2 put outs in 2 innings. I think overall he did pretty good. Right. I mean, it's just going to be a wait and see, especially, we haven't really seen any kind of situational plays yet where we got a runner on third, less than 2 outs, ball hit to him yet. But I think overall, opening day, he did really good. I mean, he's done good so far. I mean, I really do. I think, look, he's an athlete, whether his defensive scoring, defensive numbers at second base have been reduced or not. Like, the guy's an athlete. So the more reps he's going to get out there, the more comfortable he's going to feel. And then his athleticism is just going to take over like it's doing now. So I'd say so far he's doing pretty damn good for, having a month worth of playing out in left field. And again, he is playing in a short porch at I almost called the juice box. He's got a short porch there in Daikin, so it helps. But I think overall he's done pretty good so far. Need the bat to come around, but I think in left field I would give it a win for right now.
There you go. I like it. And speaking of another segue, I think that I have an idea of how the Astros could help awaken their bats. They need to get them some of them Yankee bats. Those
the torpedoes.
The torpedoes.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of BS, dude. There's no way in hell those are legal bats. There's no way.
So I actually got the scoop on those. They got approved prior to spring training, and the Cubs actually started using them at the end of last season. Now, the reason we probably never heard of it is because nobody cares if the Cubs are winning or losing or what they were doing at the end of last year. But those bats were actually designed by some like MIT students or whatever. So supposedly they've already been approved. MLB and Rob Manfred has said, hey, go ahead, use them. And
of course he does. So much offense. They've hit 15 home runs in 3 games. Like they hit 9. Yeah. I'm going to sound like I'm bitching, and I kind of am, but I'm really not. But they hit 9 yesterday. I mean, they put up a football number in yesterday's game, like 20 to 8.
They beat the brakes off of the guy who they traded to the Brewers for
Nestor.
It was Nasty Nestor.
It was Nestor Cortez.
And I just remember somebody saying, yeah, that beard's not helping him because he was getting clobbered.
It was 3 pitches, 3 home runs for him. First inning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hey, so I have a question for you guys now that we have before we get into the last part, talking about looking forward to the series that's starting tomorrow. All right, guys, like I have a feeling this one might be a little bit tough, but I think we know what side it's going to kind of land on. So, on our very first inaugural weekend wrapped up Juice Box Heroes, who do you give your player of the series to for this opening series against the Mets? I would assume it's not going to be anybody on the offensive side. So, Browse, you can go first.
Yeah, I'll go
Browse,
first.
go ahead.
I'm actually going to surprise you on this one. I'm going to give it to Jeremy Pena. He looked good defensively. He actually did put up some offense. He's got our one home run of the entire team, and I got to tell you, he looks like he's hustling, playing hard, and doing everything he's supposed to be doing out there. And I know that there was always, right when we called him up, there was that whole thing like, oh, can he fill the shoes of Correa? At this point, I'm going to say that his offense isn't as potent as Correa's was back when he was in his prime, but at the same time, I think his defense right now is just as good, if not better. I like his attitude even better, and I think he's going to be turning around and being one of the biggest surprises of the season. So that's who gets it for me for this series.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, PK.
It's hard not to pick a starting pitcher. Just be, and my it's between Spencer and Fromber, honestly. I think I'll just go ahead with I'll just give it to Spencer.
Okay.
That's that. His third game of the series. You want to finish that series off, with a win. You want to go into your off day, feeling good about yourself and not on the lines of, oh, we gave one away or we lost the series or whatever. Spencer looked freaking great, man. Like he looked really damn good. And the more that he pitches and the more comfortable he looks pitching, the more swag he has. And that swag that he has on the mound, like he's just come out there to take your, to rip your soul out. So I'll give it to Spencer for, taking that rubber match and giving us the dub for the series.
I could buy that. I could definitely say from what I saw, Spencer looks like he is absolutely taking the next step that you kind of was hoping that he would. Yeah, he looked good. I mean, me honestly, the only reason I'm going to give it to Fromber is because he went 7 innings. So my player of the series is going to be Fromber. I don't feel anybody, even though Pena got the home run, I don't feel like anybody offensively deserved it. I mean, but it could have went, in my opinion, to either one, Spaghetti, or it could have went to, it could have went to,
Fromber.
Fromber. So, like I said, before we wrap this up, I want to get into, the upcoming series versus the Giants, and I'd like to kind of, if we can start this, with this second show that we're doing now. What I want us to do is I'm going to read you guys the pitching matchups for the 3-game series against the Giants. And I want you to give me your prediction on the series. And I want your one breakout star for the series. And PK, since we always make Brawls go first, I'm going to have you go first.
Oh, thanks, man.
Hey, I'm here for you all day, every day.
Yeah. All right, send it.
So, all right. So game 1, which is going to be tomorrow night, is going to be Jordan Hicks versus Blanco. And then you're going to have on Tuesday Logan Webb versus Hayden Wisniewski in his Astros debut. And then you're going to get whoever Raup versus Fromber. And that's going to be Wednesday, unless there's a day off. So I'm pretty sure it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So PK, give me your series prediction. And give me who you think is going to be your breakout star, whether it's offensive or on the pitching side.
Well, so from a series prediction, I think we're going to take the Valdez game, right? I mean, I'm gonna bet on Valdez to back up what he did on opening day. I'm not saying that Ronell's not going to win. I think. Well, let me back up. Tuesday is the Webb game.
Yeah.
Tuesday is the Webb versus Wisniewski game. Wisniewski. right? I know he's going to
Yes.
be he's going to be
He's the
amped up.
Tuesday game.
He's going to be amped up to to pitch his first game at home. Logan Webb, out of those three pitchers is probably the better of the three. I think he had a little rough outing, last week. So I think because Hayden's pitching at home and the Astros debut in his hometown, I'm going to give him the dub. I'm going to take a 2-1 record for the series. And I think Christian Walker is going to have the breakout performance because he's facing an old old NL West division.
Okay, I like that. All right, Browse, go ahead.
I'm going to say that we're going to probably sweep this series, and we have the potential to. The reason I say that is just that San Francisco kind of put all their eggs into one basket. They got Willie Adames in the offseason, and then they signed Matt Chapman to that extension. So, I mean, that's basically the two guys they have. I am not scared of any other person on that team offensively. And with the way that our pitching staff's looking, I don't see any reason why they should be scared either. So Wes Newski, I think, is going to come out on his debut and just pitch lights out. Now, the one thing that could hold him back on that, obviously, is if he is so amped up, he just starts grooving some right down the middle. Because, that does tend to happen when you got a little bit of nerves going, right? So anyway, but if he sticks to his game plan and listens to, what Yanir's throwing down in the catcher position, then I don't see any reason why he, one, is not just the breakout of the entire series as the breakout player, but two, also wins that game, and then we just end up taking all three. I don't think there's going to be any blowouts in there, but I do think that we're going to sneak out 3 wins in a row.
All right, so who do you said Wisniewski is your breakout player?
Wisniewski is my breakout player for that series.
Okay, so I think I'm going to go 2-1 as well, and I'm going to have to change my guy because my initial guy is Christian Walker as well.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I mean, because I was thinking, man, the guy's like, what was that stat? 0 for 7 on balls hit over 100 miles an hour. Those are eventually going to find spots. I feel like he's going to break out. He's my guy as well, but I'm going to pick somebody else just to pick somebody else. I'm going to go with Brendan Rodgers.
Okay.
And he's not going to. I don't think he's going to blow it up with home runs, but I'm going to give him 4 ribbies throughout the 4 games or throughout the 3 games. I'm going to go with Rodgers just because Benjamin does not like him, and
he's got 2 gold gloves.
You're going to prove that
he doesn't like him because Benjamin has this vision. He's going to make the Astros wear number 1, and it did not, and it pissed him off at the fact that Rodgers is wearing number 1. So he does not like it.
I don't think Rodgers is going to get it retired with the Astros. If he does,
I told him, I'm like, I told him, like, by the time you even have a chance, he's probably going to be long and retired. So, but yeah, so I'm going to go with Brendan Rodgers as my breakout guy because we need him to fulfill that hole at second base if they're going to keep Altuve in left field. So that's what I got.
Yeah, I like it. All right, so that takes us Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we will be back on Thursday. Right? No baseball, no Little League baseball this week on Thursdays?
I think we're Monday, Wednesday this week.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Well, fellas, I appreciate y'all hopping on for this podcast for our new Sunday wrap-up. Everybody that's watching and listening, thank y'all for tuning in, interacting with us during the episode. I'm PK. That's Chris, and that's Browse, and this is the Juicebox Heroes podcast. We will talk to y'all on Thursday, 7:30. Well, Cougs,
oh man,
Cougs, baby, Cougs in the Final Four. I need them to take out Duke and win the ship.
There you go. I like it.